The Lord in here. Come on, put those hands together. Certainly we honor the Lord today for his goodness and his grace. We're grateful unto the Lord for those of you who have gathered yourself together just to give God praise and glory for the wonderful things that he has done. We're just grateful for so many of you who have responded in support to this affair. Now again, I want to emphasize this is a celebration. Now what that means is we come to have church. I wish I was in the right house tonight. We are here to praise the Lord. All right, you need a story. I'm gonna give you a story. It was about a month and a half ago. Brother Troy was coming from Houston, Texas, from doing some videography there in Houston, driving from Atlanta. After he caught a flight from Houston to Atlanta, he drove from Atlanta, was on his way to stop in Columbus because he was tired in his body. Lost control of the vehicle. The vehicle flipped over several times, throwing him out of the vehicle, and the vehicle landed on top of him. The paramedics had not been notified. No one had been notified because nobody knew about it. But it just so happened that there was an ambulance driving on the way to Columbus. And they stopped and realized that he was in trouble. But because the vehicle was laying on top of him, now there are several accounts to this, but I'm going from what the record driver told us. The paramedics just stopped. They had somebody already on board, but they stopped to help him. Look at somebody and tell them nothing just happens. The paramedics stopped. They started to help him. And the only thing they could really do was just make him comfortable because they couldn't get the vehicle off of him. The vehicle was laying from about right here on down. Incidentally, he had no broken bones in his legs, no broken bones in his arms. Paramedics made him comfortable, but they called for a record truck to come move the vehicle. Well, when the record, we talked personally. We went out and we saw the vehicle, and we talked with the individual who went out there. He got out there, and he saw the EMTs, the fire department, and the police. They just kind of sitting around waiting. So the record truck driver thought that Troy was in the ambulance and didn't know he was still under the vehicle. And so he proceeded to get out of the record truck, hook up the cables to the vehicle while Troy was still under it. And he was getting ready to get back to his vehicle and get in and pull the vehicle, and Troy yelled out, "Ah!" The man said the hair just stood up on the back of his head. And he realized that Troy was still under it. And with the adrenaline rush from the crowd, the man didn't hook up the record truck to take the vehicle off of Troy. He ran up to the vehicle and picked it up and lifted it up off of him. By the time they got him to the hospital, he had a head injury from the back of his head. He had broken pelvis in 4 areas, 2 broken two bones in his back broken. Facial bones were broken. He had several ribs that had broken. His lungs collapsed several times. The doctors went in and pulled out so much blood and clots from his lungs. They thought they were going to lose him, but somebody say, "But God!" I need y'all to understand. I understand. It's nothing but the grace and mercy of God that the man is still alive. It didn't have anything to do with skill. It didn't have anything to do with but God. And I'm here to tell you, when the doctors thought it was going to be lost, when the doctor thought it was going to be over, God raised him up, and he's here tonight. I wish somebody wanted to give God some glory. Look at somebody and say, "Neighbor." Come on, say, "Neighbor." It could have been worse. He could have been paralyzed. But he walked in here tonight to give God the glory and to tell the Lord, I thank you for still being alive. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You know what? The record truck, the ambulance folks said when they got to Troy, he said, I was trying to get home to my wife and my little girl.